The seasons have changed, the multicolour jumper is back. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then you may not know I've been doing Inktober, which is a challenge to do an ink drawing every day through October. There is a set of official prompts. You don't have to follow the prompts, but I did. And now that October is done, well, I guess today is the last day, and I've completed Inktober, finally, I wanted to go through the experience and share the drawings I've done and have a little talk about how I feel I have improved through this month. So if you come with me to my ironing board with a sheet over it, I will take you through my sketchbook. Hello! So, this is my sketchbook, or one of my several sketchbooks anyway, and I thought I would take you through the drawings I did and talk about them. The first prompt that we had was Swift. There are things I like about this drawing, there are things I don't. First of all, her head's in the wrong position, it looks really strange. It looks like, you know when you make a little model out of Play-Doh and then just stick a blob on the top to be the head? That's how this feels to me. But for a first drawing, for having not really worked with inks that much, I think I did okay with it. But I think the fabric did okay. I'm trying to work on my fabric and drawing hair as well, and I think I did okay on both of those things. So the second prompt was Divided, and I had this idea kind of Hunger Games feel of like the different districts, and that's kind of the inspiration for this. So you've got this girl, very simple clothing, no shoes, looking out over the water at this like futuristic city. And I love the concept, I like how the city turned out, but again, like my drawing of figures needs work. And she's okay, but there's things that I'm not quite sure on. I think feet. I need to work on feet, because what is going on here, I don't know. Now this one, the prompt was Poison, and I am still very happy with this one. I think this is the first one that I really, really liked. So this is fairly self-explanatory really. You've got this figure in the background picking mushrooms and death is coming. I feel like I got a nice atmosphere in this, the shading went well, and it was my first real attempt ever with cross-hatching properly. Like I've done a little bit of cross-hatch shading here and there, but I've never really done a whole piece that's focused around it, and it worked. So that is a kind of a theme then that I continue through of working on my cross-hatching throughout this whole month. Now the fourth one, we have Underwater. I like this, but in a different way than I liked the previous one. I love this character. I came up with this wizard hermit crab as a character to do for a DoodleTube drawing. DoodleTube is a Twitter account. They give prompts once a week, and the idea is that it's supposed to bring YouTube artists together. And it was Weird Wizard was the prompt one week. I didn't get a chance to actually complete a piece for it, but I did come up with this character, so I'm glad I got to use him even if I didn't for his original purpose. And I did a bit of, what do you call it, where you do lots of dots? Is it speckling? I can't remember what it's called. Stippling? Stippling, right? And yeah, that went well, so I'm quite happy with that one as well. So the fourth one was Long. And I feel like this is a slightly more abstract interpretation of the prompt. I kind of took it as, you could say literally the cactuses, they are long, tall things, but also I was thinking about distance and time, and looking out into space just felt appropriate. So you can see I didn't quite line this up on the page right, there'll be a few of those, warning you there. But this was quite fun. I actually used my white ink as well as black ink for this one, that's how I got the stars. So I do have a set of coloured inks, but I generally stuck to monochromatic throughout this month just for the challenge. But yeah, I liked how this turned out. Now this one, so the prompt was Sword, and I like the drawing. There's bits and pieces that aren't quite right. I love the pose in general for this girl, but her arms are wrong. There's something not quite right. I think they're just a bit thin, I'm not sure, but the arms are a bit wrong. But I generally like the whole, she's supposed to be going to bed, but she's not tired enough yet, so she's playing a game, and Teddy has to die. Right, now this is another one I really like, and this is the first one that starts this sort of cartoon style that I slowly developed through the month. So the seventh prompt was Shy, and it's the moon peeking out from behind a cloud. the way I did these clouds of it trying to be nice arcs that were as if it was a lot of bisecting circles, trying to keep the curve constant, that started to inspire something else that emerged later on, just to keep you interested. I'm not a fan of this one. This was around the point I was starting to struggle. We were a week in. I just wasn't really feeling it a lot of the time, and I think this is one I left it a few days and then drew this one just to try and catch up. So it's supposed to be the crooked house from the nursery rhyme. So you've got the old man's coat for the crooked man, got the crooked cat. It's supposed to be a crooked sixpence here. It's just, obviously the scale doesn't allow me to draw a very detailed coin, and then also a crooked mouse. So that was the feel for this, but I don't think I executed it very well. The cross-hatching's a bit sloppy, so it's okay, but not one of my favourite pieces. So number 9 was Screech. I really like this. I think I got another really good atmospheric piece. And number 10 was Gigantic. I took a little bit of a twist on it of feeling gigantic, as this musician is in the spotlight with all the camera flashes going off in the crowd. And although not perfect, I think that this figure worked better than I've done a lot of them recently. You'll notice I tend to draw people from behind. I wanted to work on some skills that I'm not very good at, but faces just, like, I didn't want to be doing, because these drawings weren't supposed to take me too long. The idea was I could do them fairly quickly and it wouldn't be interrupting my regular routine too much. And if I was going to be drawing a lot of faces, that was going to take a long time. So a lot of people from behind. I wanted to do something with a bit more realism to it because I have quite a cartoony style, so I tried to push myself a little bit, and I did a cat running, because the prompt was run. And although not perfect, I think I got the fur quite well, and that was really what I wanted to achieve from this one. And number 12, we have Shattered. And I think this one is quite obvious what I was going for, and I feel like I pulled it off alright. This is why my brush pen, ink brush pen, has very little ink left. Pieces like this, where I decided to do it with the pen rather than get out my pot of ink and get a brush. Now this one I really quite like. It's a lot more of a realistic feel and yet still is kind of cartoony. So it's a load of birds teeming, as is the word. I love these flock movements and I thought it'd be fun to draw, and again, stippling. Now I've remembered the word. Now this is another one that I did because I felt I needed to get a drawing done and I was not in the mood for it. So it was fierce, and my brain just kept going back to when I used to watch America's Top Model when I was younger, and it's the Savannah's Next Top Model. So there we are. And this is another one that I liked the idea, but I think I did not execute it very well. I could have done with shading it a little bit more. But the prompt was mysterious, and where do all those socks go when you lose a sock? Who knows? And this is the sock disappearing portal. Now, I like this one. I think it's adorable, and I really want a dragon piggy bank now. So originally I was just going to do a piggy bank, and then I decided to change it up a little bit and make him a dragon, and I think it's beautiful. I like this. Another one that I think I did not execute very well. So the prompt for this was graceful, and I was really struggling to come up with an idea. So when I'm struggling, I just Google it and look at the top images and see if any inspiration strikes. And what struck me was that graceful, everything is to do with women. So I thought, you know what? We're gonna go against convention here. What could be a more masculine kind of thing that could also be considered graceful? So basically, I have decided that this is young Father Christmas, or Santa Claus, depending where you're from, and he is learning the craft of making toys. Now this one I did spend time on. So the prompt was filthy, and it's just the hallway of someone's house who doesn't really care too much about the state of it. So we've got all the water that's come off the coat and the shoes and the umbrella, there's footprints tread through, cobwebs everywhere, and I spent a lot of time Googling pictures of different shoes and drawing the shoes. And I like the result. I like how this turned out, and I intentionally didn't shade this one. I wanted to keep it kind of flat so you could see more of the detail in the drawing. Now, you know, I mentioned that there was a sort of a stylized cartoon style that emerged from this this month. This would be the second piece that is along that vein. The prompt was cloud. I drew some clouds and some mountains, and I really wanted to do something that was a little bit different. So I took the cloud style from that previous drawing with the moon, and added in some mountains, which were also keeping to very simple geometric shapes was the idea. And the next prompt was deep, and I don't like deep water. It freaks me out. I don't like the idea of being out of my depth in water and not knowing what's underneath me. Like, I'm fine swimming when it's not too deep, but I don't like, or if it's a swimming pool. Swimming pools are fine, but I don't like the ocean when it's deep. I don't like rivers or lakes that are deep. I'm not a massive fan. So this felt like a good piece to draw. So 21 was furious, and I think we've all done it at some point as kids, accidentally breaking something, and our parents were not pleased. A little bit of attempting to get some 3D in the shading, sort of worked. I'm reasonably happy with it though. And here we are with that style again. So this is trail, was the prompt, and it's those mountains and some trees, again in fairly simple geometric shapes, and trying to improve the shading a little bit. I tried this one keeping the hatching all going in the same direction, and I think it sort of worked, but I think I prefer cross hatching rather than just hatching. Now, I wanted to do some stuff that was a bit more realistic, because everything pretty much that I'd drawn was cartoons. So I got a picture of an apple core and I tried to replicate it as best I could. And I was surprised at how well this went. I was not expecting this to look very good, but no, it turned out quite well. It's very clearly an apple core. It looks pretty 3D. I'm happy with this. Now, 24 was blind, and I thought I'd draw a guide dog. Please ignore the smudged eye. If these things happen, it's fine. He just looks like his makeup is running. Maybe it is. I probably should have spent more time drawing the harness, because I realised I missed, should be a strap going under his leg. And I did draw that in my sketch, but somehow those lines got lost from the pencil drawing when I did the inking, so sorry. Right, 25, we have ship. So I feel like this character's hair looks a bit like a squid. I'm just gonna say it, she's got a squid head, but it's fine. I think the wood effect went very well. I'm proud of this. And I think it's a nice scene. I think it worked out quite well, but yeah, should have spent more time planning the hair. So number 26, we have Squeak. This kid sneaking out. Maybe it's the same kid who was murdering Teddy earlier, who knows. But gotta watch out for those creaky floorboards when you're trying to sneak out. 27, again, I want to do more realism stuff. So someone climbing a rope. I spent ages gripping a rolled up poster and staring at my hand, but I think it worked out okay. Again, we're back to this stylized thing. I really like this, and I can't wait to do more drawings in this style. So the prompt for 28 was fall, and it's a falling star. It's not very happy about it. And more of the stylized theme, which, yeah. So this one was for United. So I've got this couple together and this scene in the background. I kind of like trying to keep a pairing kind of feel. So we've got the two mountains and we've got the two bits of land either side of the river. Yeah, I really liked how this worked out, and I realised after I completed this and uploaded it to my Instagram that I should have made it night and done the shooting star from the previous drawing. So we're nearly at the end. We're at number 30, which was found. So it's a escaped prisoner. The dogs have got him, the spotlight's on him. Doesn't look like this is ending well. So, sorry mate, your escape attempt failed. And the last one, number 31, the prompt was mask. So this is my Venetian mask. I quite like how this worked out. I used a couple of reference images of different Venetian masks to draw this. And I kind of like the final feel. Messed up a bit of the inking, but yeah, I think it's a nice one to end on. It's quite a nice, bold design. I know this video has been quite long, so I will keep this ending brief. I've really enjoyed doing Inktober, and I really think I have improved. By doing a drawing every single day, it really does force you to think about what you're doing and see the things you don't like in pieces you've already done and work out how to improve them. And I've definitely seen an improvement, which is quite satisfying. So will I do another month drawing challenge? Probably. Will I do one immediately? No. I thought a couple of weeks ago I might dig out the prompt lists for previous Inktober's and just keep this train going, but I think I need a bit of a break. I'm sure I'll do some drawings as and when, but not quite so frequently.